Hey guys, what's up? So in today's video, I'm interviewing one of our clients, Ray. Ray's based in Panama. He is what's called a lifestyle design coach. So he helps people to essentially to get out of the 9 to 5, to escape the rat race, but more importantly, to align their lifestyle with their vision, with what it is they want to actually be doing with their lives, and just have more enjoyment from their lifestyle and what it is they do. He joined us probably about 4 months ago now. He didn't have an offer. He wasn't making, didn't have an offer, so he wasn't making anything from his business. He was doing a little bit of freelance work here and there. And he joined us. We helped him to build out his high ticket offer. He had, I think, 1,000 followers on Instagram at the time. And when he joined, he launched his offer and he closed, or so far, he's closed 8 new clients with that offer so far. Absolutely crazy with the amount of followers he's got. So I think close to $20,000 in kind of sales from actually selling that high ticket offer. And so the transformation he's experienced has been absolutely crazy. Based in Panama, living the dream. He's an absolute amazing guy, and he's achieved a fantastic transformation as well. And so without any further ado, let's get into the interview and let's hear what Ray has to say about his time in our program, High Value Consulting. Thank you very much for taking the time out to jump on and essentially do this podcast interview for your time in the program. How are you doing? How have things been?
Hi, Harry. All great. Thank you for having me here. It's a pleasure.
Cool, amazing, amazing. And for those who don't know, I think I mentioned, well, I will mention it on the intro when I film it. But you're based in, is it Panama? I think you said you're
Panama,
based
yeah.
there. Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
based 1 hour away from Panama City in a beach town named Coronado.
Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, much nicer. Well, in terms of where I live, definitely much nicer, much warmer as well. But cool. So as I kind of announced on the intro, I kind of have given people a little bit of context as to yourself, your background, kind of what you've now achieved within the program. But just in your own words, just kind of tell us or tell everyone watching a bit about yourself. So who you are, what it is you do, what your kind of transformation has been, and kind of what it is you help people with as well.
Okay, yeah. My name is Ray Hernandez. As you said, I live in Panama City. So, who am I? That's a great question. Always, it's fun to answer it. So, I was formed as an industrial engineer, did a master's in innovation management, have been working in tech for the last 7 years. Uh, so I describe myself as a person in a perpetual existential crisis. So basically, like I'm always questioning what's my place in the world, what do I want to do with my life, uh, and yeah, I've been working as a product manager in different companies. I got to be the head of software and products in a very prestigious firm here in Panama.
Mm.
But success wasn't feeling good, and like there was a point I was like, I'm in a very good position here, but not like I was getting promotions, I had more responsibility, I had a very clear track of where I was gonna go,
Yeah.
but it didn't feel right to me.
Mm.
So I wanted to do something more creative.
Mm.
I have always loved philosophy, Stoicism, Buddhism, meditation. I've been very big in self-help.
Mm.
Uh, Read the 4 Hour Work Week. I read it like every year, and I think like it's a basic or like the book that plants like the seed of like I need to make money in a way that doesn't consume my life.
Yeah.
So I have always been thinking of how I can do something like that, how I can align my passions, what I like,
Mm.
what I'm good, and make money out of it and enjoy life. At the same time, through that, I started surfing like 6 years ago,
Yeah.
and surfing is like super, it's an obsession. So I just let that like obsession guide me. I
Mm.
quit my job, started doing freelancing. With COVID, I moved to the beach
Mm.
and I took a sabbatical year. And I was always thinking of how I could help people with what I know, right?
Yeah.
So I kept doing some freelancing. Then I found you. And I realized I could do it right now. Like,
Mm.
so how right now I have a lifestyle design business.
Mm,
I help people who want to design a life that is more aligned with their passions,
mm,
with their talents, and want to escape the rat race, 9 to 5, hamster wheel, however you want to name it.
mm.
So basically, what who I'm helping right now is probably like people between their 30s and 35
Mhm.
that want to start aligning their lives with what they truly want.
Yeah. Yeah. Amazing. Amazing. Yeah. It's what I like about your offer and what it is you sell is that you're essentially selling what it is you've done for yourself. You know, you're selling the lifestyle you've built for yourself. Like you said, you've gone from a very prestigious job to then kind of freelancing to then kind of, kind of quitting it all, surfing and then kind of having your own business and kind of having that lifestyle. And that's a dream for a lot of people. You know, like you said, there's a lot of people who are stuck in the 9 to 5, stuck in the rat race, who don't want to be doing that. And I think that, you kind of shown people, you don't have to, have private jets and Lamborghinis and stuff, to enjoy a lifestyle. It's just a simple lifestyle, but a adventurous lifestyle. I think that's what I really admire about you is it's very adventurous and it's very much, it's true to yourself. It's what you're living. You're living true to yourself. And I think it's amazing what you've done for people. And now you've got, how many clients have you got now so far? I'm not sure if it's like 5 or 6
8.
or 8. Sorry. Oh, I'm way off. But yeah, to 8 clients now. Who you all sort of landed. And just so so I couldn't remember exactly, but I remember when you launched the offer, you didn't really launch it to online. You launched it more to like your just network of people around you, isn't it? Wasn't it? Like more like your local network and people you kind of knew and so on.
Well, I followed your directions. I
Yeah.
used what I had.
Yeah.
Uh, I had like 1,300 followers,
Mhm.
yeah, back then. And yeah, that was my local people. I used my personal account. I actually just I opened an Instagram account in 2017
Yeah.
because I wanted I've been writing for a while.
Mm.
Like in 2017 I was writing a lot, and I realized like I had for reaching people I had to use Instagram.
Mm.
But I wasn't constant, I wasn't consistent, I didn't have like a clear offer or anything. I just wanted to share, but I had a major roadblock that I didn't tie my creation to getting something out of it.
Yeah.
And for some people it's very easy to create and just share it with the world, but I needed to close that feedback loop
Mm.
because I had bills to pay. Like work is always there.
Yeah.
And then when I made like creating part of my job as, yeah, like the funnel, or where I
Mm.
created and then I got feedback back, and I could reach people like, hey, I have something for you.
Yeah.
Then I got like the motivation to create in a consistent way,
Mm.
because
Mm.
I was not creating. It was like a hobby.
Mm.
Like, for my dream was to I don't know, become one of these Twitter people, like influencers that you tweet and people love it, and then
Yeah.
they sign to your course. But like there was a big disconnect there, because to in order to sell a course, I had to have like at least, I don't know, 50,000 followers, or
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
bigger audience.
Yeah.
And then you came and you showed me like, no, you can do it.
Yeah.
You can do it with 100 people. You can do it with what you have right now.
Yeah.
So I did do it to my local network, but it was my following. It was the people.
Mm.
It,
Mm.
my account was born with the intention of building an audience,
Mm.
but I just became more like a consumer. But at the same time, in the last years, I have been showing my lifestyle, so
Yeah.
I had some street cred.
Yeah, 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 exactly, exactly. And I think that's what's great, And like you said, you don't need to have 50,000, 100,000 followers to be able to sell and build a lifestyle. Like you've only got, well, I say only, but I think it's like maybe 1,500 followers or something at the moment. I can't remember. Obviously, we have so many clients, I can't remember all the numbers off the top of my head, but I think it's around about that. And you was able to close that many clients from, a following that a lot of people would look at that and be like, in terms of the online business space, people to say, oh, that's a small following, and it's not, so having 1,000 people is a lot of people. But I think it's important that, we teach obviously the high ticket approach and to sell something high ticket. And that is what's, kind of transformative, is that is what gives you then the cash flow, the capital to then quit your job, to have that lifestyle, to do all the things you want to do. So then, quick question then for you: if there was someone who's in your position now, or sorry, who's in a position that you was in 4 or 5 months ago, however long it was that you joined the program, what would your advice be to them? Even just more general advice, or like specifically about what they're selling. What would your advice be for that someone who wants to do something aligned with their passions, but they're not sure sort of what step to take?
That's a great question. I thought about it for a moment, and it's quite simple. That's the thing. Like, it's so simple that people that you wouldn't believe you can do it, and I guess that's what I value a lot about your program, was like you really like push me to action.
Mm.
So it's taking action, like
Yeah.
have a general idea of how you would like to help people
Mm.
and try to sell it. Like, I'm I'm all about like the product design, product development,
Mm.
and you have this concept of the MVP, the
Mm.
minimum viable product,
Yeah.
and everybody thinks that the product is the MVP and it's the offer.
Mm.
It's like I would say, like, keep it simple, like make an offer.
Mm.
And for those who don't know what's an offer, it's just like a sketch of what you're gonna offer. Like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm gonna help you go from A to B. Like, think about what's the transformation you wanna help people get, a general thing,
Yeah.
and start talking to people, start having sales calls. Because, like, right away when I started doing sales, I was like, okay, this is my need finding. This is how I understand what people need.
Yeah.
And be flexible with your offer. Like, you're gonna talk to people and they're gonna tell you what they need.
Mm.
And believe in yourself. You have to, like, believe that you can help them.
Yeah.
Because when I started, I had an idea, and then people started telling me, and I was like, okay, I'll figure it out. I'll figure
Mm.
out how to do it, and I'm doing it. And it's just like, you already have. If you're already thinking you can help people, you probably can. Like, you can actually. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
so that would say, like, you already, like, if you're thinking about it, you already can, and
Mm.
you just have to get out of there and offer it to people.
Mm.
And if you don't get any feedback, it's okay. You just have to keep trying and moving it. Like,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah. 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 100%. No, I agree. And what do you think then in terms of, um, you were able to kind of take that passion you had, put it out there, jump on calls and get, sales quite quickly. And relatively what it seemed like was quite easy as well. Like, it seemed like it come quite naturally to you to jump on calls and, start selling to people. What do you think, or sorry, why do you think you had that success like so quickly? Like, was it a particular habit you had? Was it something you perhaps had learned? Was it just a certain way you approached the calls? Like, why do you think you was able to kind of get those calls booked and close a client so quickly?
That's a good question, and I think about it all the time. Uh, Getting the calls, I think I I had showcased in, like, since I was, okay, everybody has a network.
Mhm.
Everybody, like, it doesn't matter. So people know you.
Yeah.
And one of the first things you say is, like, start selling. People already, there's some people who already know you. And if you're starting and you don't have much followers, they're following you for a reason, right?
Yeah.
So, because getting followers is not so easy. Like, I'm doing now that I'm working on it, I'm like, okay, if somebody follows you, it's because they're resonating with you. So that's the first thing.
Yeah.
So I have had, like, a message, and people were seeing my personality, seeing what I was thinking,
Mm.
and they resonated with it. So people were curious, I guess.
Mm.
And in the sales calls, it's like, the sales is about listening. Like, you listen, 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 and if you listen, you're gonna be able to give an answer or an offer that
Yeah.
hits what people need.
Mm.
So I would say it's just like, making the right questions. You have taught me how to make the right questions, and listening, just standing there, getting like the basic keywords or the things where like the needs, the pains that people have, and
Yeah. Yeah.
those are like nails, and you just have to hammer them.
Yeah. Yeah. No, 100%. No, I think you made a good point as well about, the obviously, yeah, growing an audience, growing a following, it's difficult. It's not as easy as everyone kind of makes it out to be. But also what's important, and kind of like you said, is that all of those followers, they follow you for a reason. So people don't just follow someone just for the sake of it. You might get the odd bot, the odd follow on follow person. You get the odd person doing that, but in general, everyone who follows you is because they resonate with something you're talking about. And I think that that's what's important, and that's probably the biggest message there. Is that, again, that's why it doesn't matter whether you've got 10 followers, 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000. There are people there who follow you for a reason, and they are people who you could talk to potentially see if you can help them. As you know, and like you said, you tapped into that network of people, and we've also had other clients who don't have any Instagram, who join a program and sell to just people they know, and just sell to the audience of the network they've already got. And so it's a good reminder, you're kind of saying that your followers are not just a number; it's an actual person who's decided to follow you for a reason. And so when you realize that, it changes kind of how you then look at everything, how you then approach it as well, which is a really good point. One other question I've got for you. When you decided to join our program, which I think was for maybe about 4 months ago now, what was the reason? So not so much what was the, not about us. No. So not what was the reason in terms of us, but in terms of for yourself. Why did you decide at that time that you was like, now I want to invest in myself? Now is the moment. What was that reason for you to take action then?
Okay, I'll take a bit more time because it's a good story. It was very random,
Okay.
to be honest. Like, uh, during that time, I was like praying a lot or trying to like get clarity on how I could stop doing freelance gigs that like I really needed to do something with my creativity. I really needed like to start making money
Mm,
uh out of like helping people or aligning what I wanted to do. And I didn't have something very clear. I
yeah.
was like, my idea was like, okay, I'm making blog posts and a newsletter, like the whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just saw it like something like so distant.
Mm,
Uh, then one day you texted me, we started talking, and I was like, I know you wanted to sell me something. But I was curious. I've been following you for a while and really resonated with you.
mm,
Then I got to talk to Donald in your team,
mm.
and he explained all to me. And I had a hunch that I went to the call like I'm not gonna go into this program. I just want to see what it is about.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then when he told me about like the investment and everything, I I was like, I don't have the money. I won't do it. Like, and then I caught myself like saying I don't and can't, and
Mm,
I'm like, this is why I'm stuck. Like this thinking,
yeah.
like I don't have the money,
Mm.
and I actually didn't have it. But I was like, you know what, I'm gonna trust, and like I did it, and
Mm,
I got it back right away.
mm.
And it was more like I did it because I knew I had to put skin in the game.
Yeah.
I needed to put myself in an uncomfortable position,
Yeah.
uh, because in my comfort I wasn't doing it. Like in
Mm,
my case, like I was very comfortable. I
mm.
love comfort, and I really don't move with no pressure.
Yeah.
So the reason why I did it, it was because I knew I wanted it,
Mm,
and I knew that what I was doing so far was not getting me results,
mm.
and I trusted that you could help me. I trusted myself,
Mm.
So it was because I really wanted to do it. Like I needed I needed pressure, and yeah, it was, I knew what I needed, and it delivered.
Yeah, yeah. No, I agree. I think that that I think when you get to that point in a call, when you're whether it's when you're investing in like a high ticket offer in particular, and obviously it's happened to me, myself when I first invested in myself into a mentor, which was a year, almost 2 years ago now. When I first invested into a mentor, it was the same with me. That they obviously said the price, and I was like like that's a lot, and I'm thinking to myself like that's like more than what I earn per month. Like that's a very big investment, to have to make. But then again, I was able to kind of just in that moment think, well, know what, like as you said, this is the problem. It's the problem here is that this thinking is what's holding me back. And it's like, and I've got an opportunity here to join something that's going to change how I think. It's going to change how I act. It's going to change how I show up in the world, and therefore then what I attract. And and it was in that moment that I sort of decided in my mind, like, no, I'm going to do this. And I paused the call and I ran down to Liv, and I said, Liv, there's an investment I'm going to make, and it's a lot. I think it was like $5,000 or pounds at the time. She was like, what? Like that's crazy, like so much money. I was like, I know. I said, but I need to do this. I said, I can't keep playing small. Like I need to do this now. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. And so that's what happened with me. And then I went back up, paid it, was dreading it, but then it was the best thing I ever done. And I'm guessing it's probably similar to you. It's that kind of situation was you dreaded it in the moment, but then you just took the action, and it actually turned out to be one of, and I'm speaking for you here, but I imagine it's one of the best things you've done was investing in yourself. Um,
Can I
so
add something there?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like I have done a lot of crazy stuff, surfed like big waves. I've done like ayahuasca ceremonies, the scariest things you can think about. I have never been so scared as the moment I signed it, because I knew it was time to show up.
Yeah.
And I also, my fiance's name is also Olivia.
Mm.
And she came home that day, and I was like, I made something crazy. And she said, like, what? I'm like, well, I put almost all the money I have into this program. And she was like, what?
Yeah, yeah,
And it was like a similar, like almost the same reaction.
yeah, yeah. No, that's brilliant. Yeah, I think I remember you mentioning it when you first joined. I'm sure you said it or told me about it, but yeah, but it's crazy, and I think that again, there's that lesson there of it is scary. It's going to be one of the scariest things you do to invest in yourself, and whether the person watching the video, whether that's investing your first £20 in an ebook, or whether it's you're investing your first $1,000 or your first 10,000 or whatever it is scary. But obviously this is the difference between the people who have the success and the people who don't have the success they're looking for. Is it's all mindset. It's all about just taking the action and actually doing the work, and that is where then the results are on the other side of that. And you're a perfect example of that. You had the conditions to have success. You didn't realize you had the conditions. You had to be shown that. And once you then realized it, you then took action. You put yourself in a position where success was the only option. Then you made it happen. And so, yeah, so I think an amazing story, amazing transformation. Um, and yeah, I think you've done an awesome job. So I don't want to keep you too much longer. I realize at times I don't keep any longer, just so everyone knows. Where's the best place to find you? I'll put it in the description as well below, so everyone can kind of click and find you. But what's the best place? Is it Instagram or where are
It's
the best places?
Instagram at Raylosophy.
Yep. Yeah, perfect. Cool. I'll make sure I put that in the description down below. So for anyone watching, if you need help in terms of designing your lifestyle, getting out of the 9 to 5, go to Ray. Click the link down below. But other than that, Ray, thank you very much for taking the time out of your day. I do appreciate it. Congrats again on all the success. Very, very happy and also proud of you as well. I think you've done an amazing job. And yeah, thanks very much. And we'll chat very soon. Okay.
Thank you, Harry. I
Cool.
appreciate it.
Likewise. Brilliant. Cheers, mate.